Hello, divine, beautiful souls. This is Energy Speaks podcast with your host, Catriel. This is a special season of Energy Speaks podcast. This is for the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series. And we have our technically second guest on here, but is our practitioner for Scorpio class online. This is Dee Cee. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm really happy to be here.
Me too. So, um, eh, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into, the metaphysical world and everything.
So I think I probably got into the metaphysical world when I was little. I mean, I think I knew that there were spirits around and probably things you didn't talk about with other people. And I knew that I felt things differently than other people, and I knew that there were things that I knew. And as I as I was growing up, as I said, you didn't talk about that with people, but I became a therapist, and I think my intuitions and those abilities helped me a lot in that field. And then along that journey, someone gave me a beautiful rose quartz crystal, and that was the beginning of the end for me. I just fell in love with crystals and used them and incorporated them and learned about them and loved to play with them and give them for presents and all different kinds of things. So that really enhanced my abilities. And then you know how God works and moves you in spirit, moves you in different directions. I became involved with tarot. It's kind of a joke in my field. My son, what I say is he left me, but he grew up and he moved to Oregon, and they do that, but I wasn't ready for that. And I became involved in tarot. I thought, oh, I can take a tarot class. I have time now. And then the combination of tarot and crystals just, I know it sounds cliche, but it really truly did literally change my particular world.
That's incredible. It's quite interesting the fact that your activator was a rose quartz crystal. For those who don't know, can you tell us the significance behind that?
Well, rose quartz is all about love. So it's all about self-love. It's all about relationships, connections. It's a beautiful, calming, loving energy. Most people don't know, but it has a little bit of protection in it. You know, it's the perfect stone for a therapist. It's the perfect stone if you're trying to connect or help with people. And you're absolutely right. That's the first stone that I was introduced to. I still have it. I love it.
I feel like that's probably one of the first ones that I actually gave my mom, because like we we all need a little self-love, and we often forget, especially as those who are connected to the, like as healers and intuitives, we tend to forget that, like to take care of ourselves. And like if we don't do that, then we can't help anyone else.
True. It's very true. And that's exactly what I say. And oftentimes I don't get, when I give a rose quartz stone, I usually do give it for self-love, because you really can't be, for example, in a relationship if you don't love yourself. That's not fair to your partner. You have to really be connected with yourself and kind to yourself before you can do things for other people. So very, very true.
And so like what so the first thing you got introduced to was crystals, essentially.
Yes.
So how did you kind of pave or pivot towards tarot?
Uh, I was always interested in it, and I
Hmm.
kind of played around a little bit with it. That mainly because like I felt differently than people. I saw things that people didn't see, that kind of stuff. So I became interested in it probably when I was like in high school or college. But I never wanted to be the tarot reader that was like, oh, you're going to win the lottery or anything like that. So I totally shied away from it because I didn't want to do that until I went to a psychic fair. This woman read for me, and told me that there was a tarot class and that I should take that class. She's a good friend of mine now, but she was like, "Why aren't you taking this class? You need to be doing this." And I was like, "Okay." And she gave me the information and I took the class and I took it from Carla Beater, who's a wonderful spiritual teacher. And I just felt like this is what I want. I want that spiritual connection and I want to use it to help people. And that's what she taught me. I stayed in that class for 2 years. It's a 1 year class. I wouldn't leave.
That's funny.
I know. I just wanted to learn everything and I really didn't want to read for anybody unless I knew what the heck I was doing. So until she finally like kicked us out, we stayed for like 2 years.
That's funny. That is
Yeah.
absolutely hilarious. So, I'm curious, what was your first deck or both, the first deck you connected with? Because there can be a difference.
My first deck, because that was the first deck in the class, was Rider Waite. And
Same.
then, you know, that's your basics. That's what you learn from. And that's the deck I read with now. It's not the deck I
Really?
play with, but it's the deck I read with. It kind of became my deck. It has my energy. It's like my friend. I know that sounds weird, but
Yeah.
so that's my deck that I read with. But I have a dreamer's deck that I love and I
Mm,
play with. And that's for my friends and for fun and all that good kind of stuff. And then, of course, any tarot reader probably has, at least 50 to 70 decks. So decks for different things then, and you can't see, but in my office right across, I have a bookcase with shelves of decks because
wow.
I'll pull those out for different, somebody needs a health deck or somebody needs a karma deck or I want to connect with the Buddha deck. You pull them out for different things.
Right. That's awesome. I have so it was hard for me to like really tune into a deck for a while because like I needed something super unique and I couldn't put my finger on it, you know? And I started getting mentorships with actually my journey really started at Enchanted Spirits, ironically.
Oh, yay.
Judith, who we've talked about several times. Um, I saw this like little sheet in there that had a bunch of bottles on it, and I literally was like, What is this?" I'm like, I'm an artist, so like, I was so drawn to it. And so like I reached out to her, but I didn't hear back for like 6 months um through the text, and I was wondering kind of like why, and then she like, why haven't I heard from her? And in the moment like that, I thought that because it was like long time from that point, she messaged me not long after and found out she was like in the hospital and stuff, and I was like, oh no. And she invited me because she was reading at Enchanted Spirits, the old location. And it was so funny. I walk in and I'd never met her, I had no idea what she looked like, anything. And I could just feel her soul right
Mhm.
when I walked in. And I was like, that's the woman. And we both kind of like, it was kind of like wolves, you kind of sniff somebody out. We both were doing the same thing. And I sat down with her. She's like, pick a bottle on this little pamphlet. And I picked the same exact bottle she picked the first time,
Oh, wow.
which was the Egyptian two bottle, Egyptian puppeteer bottle. And so it's like a violet over gold, I believe, or maybe it's vice versa. I always get them mixed up. I have to look. Um, and it was so funny because she's like, all right, are you interested in learning more? I'm like, absolutely. I want to take you in and train you. And I'm like, okay. So she introduced me to more of tarot and things like that. But then she took out this unique deck that I literally, like, once she started to train me with the Orasoma and everything like that, she had an Orasoma deck.
Oh.
Now, this is unique because I've only found it offered one other place, and it was over like I think it was like $400.
Mm.
And it was because uh I wanted the deck so badly, but Judith was sick. Um, I was like I wasn't able to go over to her place and like play with it anymore and things like that. And I looked and it was only available in like New Zealand. And
Oh
I was
my
like,
goodness.
what the? This deck is so unique because if anybody is familiar with the tarot, you have 22 beginning cards from 0 to 21. This deck has double that. It has your beginning journey and it has your return journey.
Cool.
And then the normal, four suits, and then angels.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, this is wild. And when I started to like connect with that deck, there was no going back. Like, I
Mhm.
have to work with this deck.
Mhm.
And when Judith passed away, it was really sad. I really did consider getting that deck. And I was like, I just can't afford it right now. About a year later, after trying to see if I could get the bottles, get the deck, anything, her daughter reached out to me and was like, would you like all of Judith's things for free? Like all of her Orasoma stuff. And I'm like, yes, please.
Wow.
And so I now just use that deck pretty much because, especially with, you know, you're in another world. It's a sacred language, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, like that's the only one that really knows me beyond,
Mhm.
like it's just
Wow.
so I'm curious, like, because with the style that I do it more catered towards Orasoma. There's so many different types of readings. What are your style?
Well, I'll use different spreads for different things, that kind of a thing. If somebody has a relationship, there's a relationship spread. I usually use the Celtic cross, and then I use what's called the Doth pack underneath. Like, so the Celtic cross gives you information. Like, I feel like that's the information you already know. Like, your
Okay.
life is messed up, or this, or you
That's
got that.
great.
But you might not know the outcome. You might not know that. But then the Doth pack is what's underneath. And to me, those are spiritual messages underneath. So then I go into that. And this is the message. These are the things you learned in the past. This is what's happening now. This is what could happen in the future. And these are the messages for that. So I combine the Doth pack with any spread that I do because I think that gives you a message that you don't already have. And then I will use like soul journey cards or different oracle cards on top. I kind of look at it like layers,
That's exactly what I was gonna say. And it's
Yeah.
funny because, Scorpio, uh, there's so many layers to that process, you know? You have
Mhm.
to like go through them all. It's the entire transformative journey.
Mhm.
Ah, wow. So I'm gonna have to get a reading with you soon, just seriously.
Anytime.
Um, do you connect with connect your tarot with your crystals?
Oh, definitely. So what I do, because I love my crystals, I have to have them. Um, when I read, there's always a setup of crystals near me
Yeah.
that and they're like my deck. They're like my crystals that I love and they help me. And I have them set up in grid style. So some of the energy is pointing out to the people I'm reading for, and some is coming back to me.
Mhm.
There's a sphere in the middle of rose quartz or clear quartz to, send out that energy of what I want.
Mhm.
In the crystals, there's merlinite, always merlinite, because I love merlinite and I feel like brings in magic and hope and joy. And there's protection, smoky quartz, things like that. There's definitely communication crystals. usually crystals, rose quartz, and money, because that's usually what everybody wants. So I incorporate all that in my grid. My grid pretty much stays the same, but it'll change from time to time. It's just like I think, oh, today we'll need this or we'll need that. And then every reading that I give you a crystal that I think you need or that I think will help you. I don't like, I mean, I love it when people record their readings. I don't want to do this reading for you and have you forget it. I want it to be helpful. I want it to help you move forward. I want you to remember, like, stick to the facts or stay in your lane or stay in the boundaries.
Yeah.
You're going to have a bump, but you can get through it. I want you to remember all that. And so I always give you a crystal or sometimes two, sometimes three, just to help you move forward. So. Yes, in all my readings, everybody gets a crystal.
That's amazing. I love that. And so I'm gonna switch gears slightly just so that we can go deeper. And so for our online Scorpio class, we're going to be doing an intention setting and crystal grids class. And
Yeah.
so Denise is really going to teach us the energetics of that and how important that when we are wanting to manifest something that the energetics really need to be clear and we need to set clear boundaries and clear intentions. So can you take us a little bit into maybe what we're going to be doing and what things we're going to address deeper than what I just spoke about for the class?
Sure. So the class again is in Scorpio energy. So we do talk about intention, 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 and transformation. There's, that curiosity and intensity and determination all balled up together in making a grid. And my belief is that when you set out to make a grid and you're trying to manifest something in the future, intention, 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 intention. That's 99.9% of it. And clarity, you have to be clear. Like you can't say, perfect example, there was a client that wanted to manifest a rich man. She wanted to marry a rich man. Well, she met somebody that she fell in love with, and his name was Rich.
Oh,
So,
that's funny.
yes, yes. So the intention and the clarity has to be there. So I want to say, I want to be financially stable where I don't have to worry if I want to fly to Europe, or I want to be financially secure in whatever way the universe can send that to me.
Mhm.
I'm going to accept it. But my intention is to be overly abundantly financially secure. I always say to add in the best way that the universe wants to bring that to me and for the highest good, because then I think I cover any of my mistakes that aren't clear. But clarity is so important. So again, what's my intention? I mean, in my history of doing grids, I've done grids in 10 minutes, and do they work? Kind of. But the grid that I really meditate about and really set my intention with and pick my stones oh so very carefully about is the grid that works. And that's the deepness of a crystal grid. You're combining your energy with the energy of the crystals, with the energy of your intent, and then with the energy of anything else that you want to put in that grid. Maybe you want to connect the earth and you have flowers or leaves, or maybe this is about a loved one and you have that picture in there. Lots of my grids have tarot cards in them because I want to start a new journey. So I'm going to put the Fool right in the middle and I'm going to do that.
Great.
So, but that's my intention. And again, I want to start a new journey. I'm going to put the Fool in there. Yes, I want it to be fun, but I also want it to be prosperous. So then I'm going to probably put some pyrite or green venturine or something like that. So taking the time to figure out exactly what you want out of this, meditating on it, picking whatever you want in that grid extremely carefully, that's the key to making it work and making it manifest as to what you want to have happen. Intensity, that's the key.
Mm, another key the ingredient for Scorpio, intensity. My dad this morning, Scorpio sun here. My dad this morning, he's like, "Man, you are so intense," and I'm like, "Can't help it."
Yes.
You created me. But so what are some different kind of grids, like designs that are unique um that you can work with?
Well, so grids will take on different shapes. So you can have the flower of life shape, you can have a hexagon shape, you can have a pyramid, you can have a 3D, you can have a spiral. They're all, all different kinds of what you want. Like if you want, um, like the 3D is more like flow and birth and death and birth and death and creativity, and the hexagon is more like clarity and sending. Flower of life is what you want your life and that spiritual connection. You can have like a medicine wheel, so your intentions go to the four different directions and which specific thing you want for each direction. So the different shapes I think they probably should be according to what you want. But the other thing that happens is, again, we're going to go back to intention.
Yeah.
So if I meditate and I get this really weird shape in my meditation, I'm going to use it in my grid. That's okay. I'm still going to have the basics. I'm still going to have energy pointing out and something in the middle probably and my specific stones. But if there's this weird shape that I got in my meditation, I'm going to use it. So it's your back to your intention, back to
Yeah,
your focus.
absolutely. It's funny, like for me, sometimes I'll wanna I guess I feel like I was better at doing crystal grids like 2 years ago. You know? But lately I just haven't been able to like think of designs and of course of intention, but like every Scorpio likes to just like layer the experience. And so it's like, you know, um, thinking about different things that will connect. And so with that, um, you know, kind of want to bring in what throughout this series, because we're starting this series, you're the beginning, at the very beginning, first week, have you thought about your intention of something you want to transform um during the during the series? I've been thinking about mine.
I think like my intention would be to help people connect with the energy of crystals, to use that in their life
Mm,
for healing, for health, for wealth, for just just so to help people transform into whatever they want to be, to give them another tool, a tool that you can use when you're in pain, a tool that you can use when you're happy, a tool that you can use when you want to make your relationship the best in the world. I just want to give people a tool that will help them in whatever situation or arena they find themselves in.
wow. I I can't wait for this class. This is gonna be great.
Yay!
Oh man. Um, can you tell us of an experience of when you used uh, set a very clear intention, used the crystal grid, and saw it manifest in front of you?
I can think of probably two or three. I think probably one of the first really solid grids that I did with intention and meditation. I did it for I wanted to bring more people into my practice.
Okay.
My whole goal is I just want to help people. I just want to help people. But the other part of that is I have to eat too, so I would like to be reimbursed for that so that I can eat. So I set a grid to bring in clients and financial security. And
Mm,
for me, that's always tricky because I really want to help people. And I don't want it to be where you have to pay me and that causes you distress. That's kind of not the point. So I want to be able to have you be able to reimburse me as when you can and how you can without making it uncomfortable and have us all be good. Have us all be good. So I'm thinking like, how do I do that in a grid, you know? And
yeah.
so I put in what I did was combine like a lot of spiritual stones, some apophyllite, some, for the greatest and highest good, and clear quartz and herkimers, and then I did put in pyrite and green aventurine and cinnabar, and I combined all of that together with my intent to do good and to be able to live doing it. And I did see, and then just things changed. Like this practice changed, and I moved here, and like things just happened. And then people came, and it wasn't overwhelming for me, and I could do things on a sliding fee scale. And some people I could see that couldn't pay me at all. And it worked. It was wonderful. I still have a little part of it in my office because it was great. It was wonderful. And I think that led me on to other things. The last grid I did was, I'm just going to call it a very unique DC grid because it was all me. And I had so much stuff going on. And if you saw my office in my house, there's 9 million crystals in it. And I thought, okay, you should have enough crystals. I work at Enchanted Spirits and spend half my paycheck there. But I was like, you ought to be able to do what you need with all these crystals. So I actually did like kind of a hexagonal, but with 6 different sides for
Mm,
healing, for prosperity, for spiritual growth, to release fear. I had 6 different areas that, man, I really needed help in. And I talked to it and I blue I set up the certain space that I wanted it, and I took my time and collected, so it has 6 different arms and a huge piece in the middle, clear quartz just to magnify the heck out of everything that was going around. And I just felt like, okay, these are all the areas in my life right now that I need some help with. And
mm.
then I walked away from it. Periodically, I go back in and just say hi and put my hand over it and thanks for helping me and just let it know that I'm there. I'm kind of a firm believer that you kind of can't go back to your grid because if you do, it's like you don't believe that it's already taken care of. But you kind of can go back and add some energy and be grateful for what it's already given you. And I'm a very firm believer in gratitude and that kind of a thing. So I still have it. I still go back and say, thanks. This arm's a lot stronger now. Appreciate it. Keep going. That kind of a thing. And that was my own, again, my own making, my own creation. Took me several days to put it together,
Wow,
and several different crystals and several different thoughts and ideas. And
that's cool. You
yeah,
know, while I was thinking of that, like you know, I guess I guess I do crystal grids in different ways. And where I've seen it really come through, especially in like practical uses, is like I had to redo this one bathroom in my parents' house, and so I had to I chose to get like selenite dust, like I crushed up all the that and some amethyst and ordered some really tiny pieces of pyrite, and I like gridded the entire like bathroom within the walls and stuff.
cool.
And so it's funny because I was telling you that my dad's redoing the bathroom before this call, and we're doing the downstairs one. And it was funny because I like the one upstairs, like everything he picked, but they didn't have the same stuff. And he picked a hexagon shape for the inside bathroom. And for some reason I was like, "Ugh, I don't know why I don't like it." And then I was like, okay, ironically, my dad's pretty intuitive and he has like no reason why he picks things most of the time, like at a deeper level, but he's always like spot on. And so as you were talking, like this is going to be the bathroom where my mom, she's been in a healing process. Um, is like it's gonna be catered to her needs down there. And so I was thinking, I was like, huh, this is the time because the tile's not in yet. Like we just started the picking process. This is the part where we set the intentions in this bathroom. And like when you said the healing in connection with the hexagon, I was like, I never thought about it that way. And so like even if you're like, a listener or a viewer at home are not necessarily into specifically setting a grid, you can do it in different ways. Um, like this intention setting is useful in every like way possible.
Right, right. I mean, intention setting, I guess for me, it becomes a practice. Like I have to work on it every day. And clarity is difficult. Our language is difficult. And to be very specific and very clear and very, I kind of think if you're connecting with spirits, they don't have the same language. And it's kind of like you're talking a different language with everybody that you connect with. So
Yeah.
clarity becomes so important. And I feel that I don't know that I ever master total clarity, but I do know that I can master intent, and that will override if I am not so good in the clarity area. So,
That's great. I love that. Um, other thing that I wanted to um ask for our viewers, what are some ways, if you are into crystals, what are some ways that you can cleanse your crystals?
oh, well, I think the first foremost easiest way is sage. You can sage them. Um, but to energize and cleanse them, you put them out in a full moon.
Mm.
And so here's a weird experience for me. The area I live, I can't put my crystals out like on the table in the backyard because we have raccoons and they like crystals and they're not going
Get them some crystals.
to get my crystals.
Happy birthday.
Exactly. So I will put them on the windowsill. I'll put them on a windowsill. I'll let them charge that way. Um, I put a lot of my crystals on the windowsill, and if I can't do it like at the specific right time, again, it's my intention. This is what's happening. Soak up all that sunlight right now because you're not going out in the backyard. So you can do that. Sunlight will also do it. Some people cleanse their crystals, and I have done this also because I have so many, thank you God, but there's a gazillion. You just take a big tub and you put sea salt in it and cleanse the heck out of them. But you have to be careful because some crystals are porous. Like you can't put selenite in water. You have to be careful with that. But the ones that you can, which I have done before, so that's not good. But the ones that you can put, and if you're concerned about it, just lay them in the salt. You don't have to put the water into it. Water is cleansing for us, it's cleansing for all kinds of things. So if you know that your crystal is porous, you can just cleanse them that way. Um, People cleanse crystals with sound. You can
That's my favorite.
Yeah, however you want to do it, you take symbols to them or your favorite sound or whatever. I think what people don't realize, and especially people that don't believe in crystals have their own energy just like we do. And their makeup is very similar to our DNA. So that energy connects. And for the people who don't believe in them, they're in your phone, they're in your computer, they're everywhere for a reason, and they send energy out. So to to be able to have that connection with them and to understand that is phenomenal. So when you're cleansing them with sound, it's that vibration. Just like music is good to us, sound is good to crystals, just like it is to plants. And I'm not crazy. There's scientific proof for that. So it works. I mean, sound is a beautiful way to do it.
My absolute favorite way that I used to do when I had my singing bowls, um I had the Tibetan singing bowl, and I would put them in there and I'd play, and you would hear this ching, and it's amazing.
Yes. And how the vibration changes with the crystals in there. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's also cool because you can put in the Tibetan bowl water and charge the water too.
Right. 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 Again, I think we're back to intention. You
Yeah,
can cleanse them anyway, as long as that's your intention.
yeah. Wow. I'm very excited for this class, and I kind of want to um share a little bit more about the Zodiac Energy Empowerment series for those who are not aware of it yet, and they're like, "What the heck is this?" So we just went through three of our intro classes. We have a fourth one if you're in the, Pinellas County, or I should say Tampa Bay area. Um, but essentially, what is it? The first date is Sunday, January 21st, is going to start that week of Scorpio. And so we're going to have 12 weeks of core classes of each week is a new energy, and we have a specific model that we're using. It was actually created like the zodiac energies in this order by Chris Witecki, but really when you look at it, it's our creation story. You see that you before anything there was a void, and then you set, the sacred space to be able to bring the light in and go deeper. What we're doing here is learning to co-create with the universe. We're learning to manifest through this particular model, and it's interwoven. It's not your normal, Aries to Taurus to Gemini. That's one cycle within the zodiac energies. But there's another one when we go to the numerology, and that's connected with the degree points. So we're essentially going through these 12 different energies, starting with zero, kind of like in the tarot, because the zero is that sacred space. And that's what Scorpio is. But it's throughout the entirety of the entire process, the entire transformation. So Scorpio, you're going to find it throughout the entire process. And so um when when we do these classes, we're not going to be sitting down in a classroom like talking about this is Scorpio, this is how it should look like, that type of thing. We're going to experience it in a new way through intention, and through an activity. And so I've chosen, well, 24 different activities for, you know, essentially we have an online version and we have an in-person version for anyone who's in Tampa Bay. And what's cool about the online version is if you happen to miss that week, you can always still, purchase that class, and essentially watch it later because it'll be recorded. And then at the end, I can offer it as a full package. And so you may ask, well, how am I going to track my journey? So Um, I have, dang it. Eh, hang on. I gotta figure out how to turn this thing off. Okay, well, this is the problem with the background thing. How do I turn that off? Well, okay. Oh well. You can kind of see it a little bit. It's a journal. And there we go. Yay.
Got it.
Brilliant. This is a journal that I've created for this series, and it has lots and lots of questions. And it caters to every single class. So you don't have to buy two different journals if you're wanting to, go through, um, the online or the in-person, or you just want a couple classes, and you want to flux between the two. You're not committed to the series, but this is a tool to help you track like your intention and see growth from it. So it has the entire like description of the series, of course, the model that we're using, and then it also has our schedule, the most updated as it is right now, as things are still being created within the series. Um, and I hope to, within the next couple weeks, even upgrade this journal a little bit to have all of the practitioners and their bios in it, as well as all of the locations. And, even if you are abroad, maybe you can come and visit, and then all of the classes and their descriptions. So working very diligently, but I figured it would be very important to have at least this version out there. And you can write in it. It is very nice. It is a very, I'm very impressed by Amazon and the quality that they produce. The images come out great, and they even let you create your own journal cover and everything, and I'm like, this is awesome. So that is available on Amazon for $22. And it gives you everything you need. And here's the thing is, you can, if you don't go to all the classes, these are really good ideas on things you could do in your own community, and do your own class. um and so I'm very excited for that piece. We also have cool like sweatshirts and t-shirts and different versions. And so this is gonna be a really cool series. And at the end, we'll have celebration. We'll have an in-person celebration for those in Tampa Bay. Um, and we'll have an online panel um, uh, as well for those who are abroad. And of course, anyone who is part of the online series that wants to come to the in-person and they're the area, they can do that as well. And if you're vacationing, come to Tampa Bay on April 14th. So, there's a lot going on with this series. There's 27, including myself, practitioners that are connected. And DC is just one of the very beautiful practitioners and one of the I'm just very excited for this class because just like anyone who is doing this series, I'm fine-tuning my intentions right now. Because this can be, if you use it, a very nice opportunity to transform something. And um, the first day that we do it in person, um, the in-person class, that day, so the core classes launch on the day that Pluto enters Aquarius, which is unique. And I'll talk on that for like 2 seconds. Pluto is the planet of transformation, It is the ruler of Scorpio, from the newer model. Originally, it was Mars, with the 7 original planets, but we won't go there. Um, but Pluto is entering Aquarius, which Aquarius is all about the one. It's about community. It's about the highest and best and innovation, shaking shift up, and essentially shifting into a new frequency. And as you can see in this world right now, there's a lot going on. We have wars, we have elections, we have lots of intense energies going on right now. And the last time, I'll mention this, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was during the Revolutionary Wars. That's both the French and the American. So that's incredible to see that this is the type of energy that comes up. But what comes out of war is we start to get our shift together. So right now, we can start setting our intentions for the highest and best for this planet. And this class right here and the class in person are the classes to do that with. So you can set a personal transformative goal and a collective one. I really encourage you to set a collective one as well, because we all live here.
I agree totally.
Uh, but Dee Cee's class is on Wednesday, January 24th, from 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find everything on my website, energyspeaksbycatriel.com. Go to events or go under online, underneath the Zodiac Energy Empowerment series, and find out more about Dee Cee, find out more about the class itself. I have posted on there a like the scope of the class and the bigger picture, um, so that we can start to, you know, um, think micro macro, kind of, you know, how we can transform. And is there anything else you want to mention? Oh, where can they connect with you? Like if they want a reading.
Oh, so yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I've
Uh,
been trying to hold on to that for the whole time.
so well, I read at Enchanted Spirits in Dunedin, and you can Google Enchanted Spirits and call the shop. They have my bio there and everything too. Then I read by appointment um at the Spiritual Guidance and Learning Center in Largo. Usually that's more like Friday afternoon, Saturday mornings. And I also read at the Emporium, which is on Indian Rocks Road in Largo, the second Saturday of every month. Um, if you connect with me, I can come to your house and read if you want. I can do those kinds of things. I really like to read to help people transform. Um, I can come to your house if you have a party, but that's kind of like not my thing. I like to use my tools for that kind of thing. So um, I think won't the information as how to connect with me be on the website too?
We'll have to double check everything because you didn't have any social media.
Right.
So we'll have to figure out how we can do that.
I can just my like business telephone number.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. I'll add that um to your link in there.
Sorry, that's my bad. Apologize.
No, it's okay. Oh, and her class is $25, very affordable for this. I almost forgot. And you can purchase your tickets on my website under events. So you go to my website, energyspeaksbycatriel.com, click events, go down, and you'll see this beautiful space. Click on buy ticket and you will get your Zoom link there. And so it's very easy. And I believe my website even takes PayPal. And you can do credit cards, PayPal. Um, I think I have all, things open on that. So yeah, thank you so, so much, Dee Cee, for coming on here, and sharing your wisdom and your light with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And thank you everyone listening or watching, however you are doing that, for being on here. And let's have a transformative journey through the Zodiac Energy Empowerment series. And thank you all, divine, beautiful souls.